Hi everyone, Tasha with Stardust Gold Crochet. Welcome to my channel where I do crochet tutorials, stitch tutorials. Thanks for being here. If you haven't already subscribed, subscribe. If you like what I do, hit the little notification bell and you'll be notified of all my future video tutorials. This tutorial is about the Vega Sweater. This is the Vega Sweater. And this is a great two-tone sweater. It's 100% cotton. I used Lion Brand's 24/7 cotton and a 6mm crochet hook. The stitch used in this is a long half double crochet, which is something that I kind of just made up. It's not a traditional crochet stitch, so it might take a little getting used to. If you don't like it, in the video I suggest a few other stitches you might be able to use for this particular, but you might not get the same effect. So let's get to it. So this is the Vega Sweater, and I'm going to show you how to work the long half double crochet stitch today. This the stitch where it looks like it's kind of like a pole, which is really cool. It gives a nice airy mesh feeling to it. I love this stitch and I love this sweater. I've worn it out. I've worn it so many times. Like it's one of my favorite sweaters to wear. There's a little split in the sleeve, which makes for a nice little add of flare. The back side has a little more flare. I added my little Stardust Gold crochet tag to it, which is fun too. You can add your tag to yours when you complete it. So the sweater is worked in two panels, front panel, back panel, and then the sleeves are worked separately and then it's sewn on. You will sew the panels together through the top right here. You're going to sew on your sleeves and you're going to sew along the sides here. Your sleeves will also be sewn together before you actually sew them onto the sweater. So that's kind of the assembly order. The stitch itself and the stitch pattern is really simple. It's a 2-row repeat with a foundation single crochet row. It flares out slightly, and I think that's actually just from the hips because the stitch is the same throughout. There's no shaping here. It's just this is the natural shape of it, which makes it kind of great because we ladies all have hips. The pattern is available on my blog for free, but you can always purchase the PDF in my store, the Infinite Yarniverse. And I'll have it available for my lifetime members. Thank you guys for being lifetime members. Go grab your Vega Sweater pattern. It's free and it's already in your inbox. All you have to do is log into the Infinite Yarniverse and there it is. Today I'm going to show you how to work the long half double crochet stitch and the foundation single crochet. Written sizes for small, medium, large, XL, and XXL. So you'll have plenty of sizes to work with, but if you want to customize it more or go larger or even smaller for say a toddler, you could do that too. If you work in odd number of stitches to start, the only problem that might pose, and because I didn't write patterns for those sizes, is when you're coming to the point where you're doing these rows here, from here up are all decrease rows. So you're actually decreasing, doing a single crochet 2 together, and that's the only other kind of fancy stitch for this sweater pattern, which is great. This is a perfect beginner sweater. We're working bottom up and then you switch colors for this row. Once you get to the part where you're going to create your V, and this is all written so you don't have to guess where that is, then you're working and you're going to place stitch markers, and there's going to be one center stitch that's left unworked. So you'll end up working those stitches to the two just to the left and right of that center stitch, and I'll pull these here and you can kind of see where that is. This is the unworked stitch. So that's the only thing you'll have to be mindful of if you're going to upsize up and size down, is that when you mark, just make sure you leave one that's in the absolute center of your project, and that's why I did odd numbers to start. So it took me a while to figure that one out too, but those are the tips, those are the tricks for creating this sweater. And now let's get started and create the long half double crochet stitch. To create a long half double crochet, first you make a slip stitch. We're going to do our foundation single crochet row first, and I'm going to do an odd number of stitches, so To do a foundation single crochet, you chain 2, insert your hook into the first chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through that first loop, grab the other 2 loops, and then yarn over and finish your single crochet. For your second stitch, you're going to go through those bottom 2 loops that you were holding on to, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, grab onto those little guys right there, yarn over and pull through both. So I've created 2 foundation single crochets so far. Insert your hook through the 2 bottom loops, yarn over and pull up, yarn over and pull through 1, yarn, and then hold on to the little 2, then yarn over and pull through. So now we have 3 of them. This is a 6mm hook I'm using, and I'm using Lion Brand's 24/7 cotton for this pattern. So I have so far 2, 4, 6. I'm going to do 1 more. Seven. That's an odd number of stitches. So for row 2, we chain 3, and what we'll do is turn and then work into the very first stitch at the base of our chain. So chains don't count as stitches in this pattern. Yarn over for your half double crochet, insert your hook into the 2 below the 2 loops, I should say. This is the part where it gets a little bit different and a little bit tricky. You're just going to pull that stitch up until you reach the level of that 3 chain that you created to start, and then finish your half double crochet. And you work like that across the entire length of your pattern. It's a little awkward at first, especially if you're used to, like if you're a fast crocheter, you might not like this sweater because it creates a little bit of an odd motion that you have to learn to do. Feasibly, you could replace this long half double crochet with a half treble or something similar, but you won't get the same look as this one. So there's your long half double crochet, chain 1 for the row 3, turn, and we'll work a single crochet into each stitch across. And everybody knows how to do single crochets, I think. If not, it's a single crochet is your basic crochet stitch. Insert your hook, and this is US terms. Yarn over and pull up, then yarn over and pull through both. And don't forget that last stitch because it kind of hides sometimes, especially with half doubles. And so there we have our first 3 rows. Let's do 1 more. 1, 2, 3. Turn it, work into the first stitch at the base of your chain, and then pull up. Yarn over and pull up. You want to try to keep your tension the same throughout, and kind of remember, if you want to be very particular, you can measure it, but you don't have to go to that length. It ends up stretching and kind of working out just perfect. You'll see. Okay, so there we have our first few rows, and you'll see that, I'm going to undo this. You'll see at first it's going to be a little bit tighter. The sweater's going to be tighter. It'll loosen up with wear, and also with any moisture, it's going to loosen up a lot. So this, when you see it stretches over time, and it's taken a minute for it to get to look like this, believe it or not. This looks, you'll see, and you'll be like, how come mine doesn't look like this? Why does mine not look like that at all? Well, you have to give it some time, because it will. This will stretch. I'm going to just try to stretch it. Okay, there you go. There we go. See? Stretch it and shape it. That's why it's important that you try to keep your tension the same, because it will stretch out like that. But nobody's perfect, and you don't have to be perfect either. And some of mine is definitely not perfect. Some of them are longer, some are shorter, but they all end up kind of looking the same. I may have pulled these out like an inch or longer. So let's do a row where I kind of pull them out more. You don't want to pull them out too much. You could do a test swatch and then wash it and see for sizing. I'm going to do 3, turn it, and I'm going to pull it up really high like that. But you don't want to pull it up higher than the length of your chain 3 from the beginning. And we've got our last one. So there you can see I'm kind of stretching it quite a bit. Like that. And that one's even longer. But again, over time, they will thin out, and so you can see that that one's already created that look to it. Okay. Thanks everyone for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Head over to the blog and grab the pattern. Lifetime members, head on over to the Infinite Yarniverse. I'll send an email out for you too. And if you have any questions about this pattern, please leave them in the comments below or shoot me an email at tasha@stardustgoldcrochet.com. Leave me a message. I'm on all social medias. Check out my TikTok videos and my Instagram videos. I have fun doing those. Thanks everybody. Take care. Happy crocheting.